Okay, checking the mic. Hello, everybody. Good evening. It is time. Now, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be very, very, very interesting. Welcome to another episode of the PicaPad. So, about another podcast that we have here. Good evening, Zato. Appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome. Good evening, Situsai. Hello, guys. Hello. Yep. For those of you who just tuned in, welcome. This is a thing that we're trying to do here on stream, the PicaPad. We've done this before, especially during the patch, but now it is time for us to start talking. Yeah, of course you do. It's time for us to start talking about the recently concluded EWC 2024 for Tekken 8. And I did promise we're going to have a podcast today. So join me in the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. We'll try to squeeze in a game maybe later. But this is the most important part, right? This talk right here about arguably the biggest tournament of the year thus far. So, in case you guys aren't aware, Esports World Cup 2024 Tekken 8 it just ended, and for lack of a better term, it was a banger. It was explosive, just really stacked all throughout, and because of that, here we are. We came up with a few topics that we can start talking about. And please, guys, feel free to chime in, ask any questions along the way. Let's try to answer that, even if it's not within our topic board. We can expound on these details, right? We can try to decipher them bit by bit. Hopefully, if time permits, we're gonna try to condense it into maybe a little under an hour, so that our podcast doesn't become too heavy to listen to or to rewatch for you guys. I will upload this VOD, of course, on YouTube, so you guys can give it a look in case you missed this, or if you guys want to rewatch it, right? Hello, Gracer. Good evening. Good evening. So thank you, everybody. Please do share the stream if you feel like you want more spectating, right? More viewers and everything. So thank you guys so much. Although I think I never... Yeah, there we go. Let me change the title real quick. Let me change that real quick. I think it didn't save. Hold on, guys. Yeah. Let me save that real quick. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, there we go. It did not save. Bit of a hang there. Let me just retype that whole thing. Yeah, just so this is technically episode 3. Yeah. EWC 2024. There it is. Something so simple. Okay. So yeah, I just rephrased our title because, again, apparently it didn't register. I don't know why that is. All right. Okay. So yeah. Let's spread the word real quick. I will actually. So I'm super ready. I am super duper ready. Oops, my bad. Okay. Channel. Once again, good evening, everybody. For those of you who just tuned in, I am literally about to just take this to X and Facebook. As promised, this is going to be our 3rd episode of the PicaPad. Join in. Talk to me if you guys feel like. All right. Zato, of course, liking the number 6 topic. And please enjoy the vibe. Grab yourselves a few drinks here and there. Try to make them warm. Because it's a pretty cold night, especially for here in the Philippines, right? Bit of rain here and there. And stay dry, stay safe, because again, lightning really is thunder and lightning really scare from where we are. Okay, so That said, I'm gonna try to start. I'm gonna try to also reduce the audio a little bit. Let me know, guys, how you find the music. Is it too loud? Is it too faint? Of course, we're not gonna put on game audio. We're not really playing while this suck is going on. So talk to me. Is the audio too low or is it too loud? We can turn it up just so you guys can feel the vibe. Talk to me, guys. You can't hear music. Okay. Well, here, let's try to make that louder then. A little louder. Not game music, Zato. Ray Ash, how you doing? Good evening. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate your company here. Okay, I'll try to make the music louder then. All right, there we go. Hopefully that's not louder than me. You really can't hear music? How about now? Okay. I'm sure there is now. I am positive there is already. Right? Oh, you mean lower it? Okay. See, that's what I'm that's what I was talking about. Now we gotta lower the music then. Okay. Thank you. Here we go. Yeah, let's make it slightly lower now. Maybe 3/4 of the way there. Thank you so much. Hi, Esper. Andito na ako, says Keenan. Okay, it is time. It's actually time for us to talk about this. All right, sorry, it's taking a bit. I think it's good now. There we go. All right, so it goes without saying, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream, by the way, for those of you who just tuned in, that Esports World Cup is the most hyped, it is the most decorated tournament thus far for Tekken 8 globally. Not to say, of course, that we won't witness any of those, but it is a pretty high bar, in my opinion, to try to top for the entirety of the year, right? And for a multitude of reasons. So one, of course, it is not a tournament that's very easy to get into, right? Some players, some teams, some clubs were able to actually enter this via, of course, getting slots into the Esports World Cup, while some of them had to fight their way into the Esports World Cup, making it a very prestigious, very tedious tournament to try and qualify for. I personally feel, yes, unfortunately we are, Keenan. Yeah, Keenan's just saying, are we really going to discuss the Dragunov Mirror? But that's the truth. We cannot leave that unaddressed, right? We have to really tap into the subject. Too many drags. Just for the sake of a redeem by Esperar. We had to do the low with the fist up voice. Thank you for the claim. Dragunov speedrun. Yeah. I'll tell you more about that as we go along, right? So also for expectations, right? We're gonna try to condense our entire podcast in an hour, just so we don't have a lot to, all pun intended, to drag, right? For our whole stream. Okay. So yes, for context, for those of you unaware of what the Esports World Cup is, it is, as the words actually dictate, it is a World Cup, a huge tournament, Grand Prix even, for a vast number of games, right? Massive number of esports titles, Tekken 8 being one of them. So with 32 representatives for Tekken 8, different countries and different organizations, it is without a doubt a very, very stacked tournament. So we have to put that into account, right? Being that big of a tournament, it's almost apparent that there will be upsets, there will be dominations, there will be speed runs, there will be close calls, there will be memorable moments, there will be quote unquote Harada moments, but that's all part of the mesh, right? We expect that to happen. So starting off, of course, we can't not give a salute to our Philippine representatives who made it to the Esports World Cup. Specifically, Blacklists Dojin, and there's also, of course, Navi's AK. So I know that a lot of people all over the globe didn't actually expect said outcome, but in reality, subconsciously, we can expect some flips of the coin, yin yang, right? What I mean by that is, in a tournament as big as this, you cannot really 100% jump into conclusions that everyone's gonna get in, right? It's the reality. But in my opinion, being in the esports World Cup alone is an honor. It is definitely the best way to hoist the flag up their shoulders. So still, they go home with, I think, 5,000, if my memory serves, 5,000 US dollars per, or rather a minimum of 5,000 US dollars per. I believe that AK, when I checked it the other time, AK placed a little higher than Dojin, at least for this one, because while AK did lose on day one, he grabbed a win over Chikarin, so that was very important. And that's still, again, a good amount of loot, but more importantly, that is, as we say, Filipino pride. We like that. I personally admire the fact that both our boys were seen on the world stage, their own vignettes showing, much like Gamers 8, and we're very, very happy that they gave the Philippines that kind of representation. So what's next for the boys of the Philippines? We don't know. I also am unaware if they've gone back home, but as far as my info is concerned, they haven't yet, right? AK, I believe, will be first to go home, if I'm not wrong. AK, I believe, is on his way back, if not already, so can't wait to see the boys back. All right, now let's address topic number 2. Now, this is insane. This is what the world will either consider an upset or a case of just really Tekken 8, quote unquote Tekken 8 coming into play. So Arslan Ash exiting on day number 1. Why is this such a big deal, despite the fact that this is as stacked of a tournament as it really is? Well, for those of you who may be living under a rock, if you're not watching Tekken or so, Arslan Ash is a 5-time Evo champ. That says a lot. So many players all over the globe, they do not actually come close to that credential. Let's be honest here, right? People who have been playing years and years of their lives, not even a fraction of what Arslan Ash was able to achieve in the span of one Tekken, namely Tekken 7, than they did in their whole Tekken lives, right? So Arslan Ash's early exit was left, it really just left people in awe. And in what people considered a death bracket, right, Arslan Ash was sent packing quite early, right? So again, I cannot really dig back into it, but if I'm not wrong, John Ding was Arslan Ash's first loss. Was it, Jules, if you remember? Elimination, right? So also I'm gonna read Zatoshi's comment here. Every loss is an upset in the setting. It is, if you think about it. Almost every loss in that tournament was really something. Not to mention, it's so stacked. That entire tournament was so stacked that it seemed like no one was a champion before EWC. It felt like there was really no champion at all. Right. So Arslan lost to Ulsan. There we go. Thank you. And John Ding. John Ding, I definitely remember induced a loss to Arslan Ash. I just couldn't remember which one came first. So thank you for that. John Ding was the elimination, and Arslan Ash first lost to Ulsan in that bracket. So if I remember correctly, they call it the death bracket or the death group because one, Arslan Ash being the sole Pakistani player there, surrounded by John Ding from South Korea, Ulsan from South Korea, and Edge from South Korea. Now, not to say that Edge, of course, was the odd man out, was the least of the problems, right? Let's not forget, Edge was the one who took out John Ding, or at least he was the one who brought John Ding one notch down. So he still was a problem. In case you guys are unaware, Edge is a very, very strong South Korean Hwarang, formerly known as TK Muse. So he's been around a while. So you guys cannot actually say that Edge is a dark horse. No, he really is not a dark horse. He's really been around a while. And of course, Ulsan, people have been talking about how Ulsan was okay, let's be real about this. People have been saying that, oh no, if not for the broken stick, if not for the like this and that, of Arslan Ash, then he would have definitely gotten rid of Ulsan right then and there. You see, that's true. There may be some truth to that. Again, do not 100% quote me, but in a setting like that, I felt that you should be ready, right? I don't really blame people thinking in two different ways. That it's a stick problem, it's Arslan Ash's responsibility, and two, there was nothing wrong with what happened. Ulsan really just played the game, right? And stuff like that. Mission report says says Jibu. Don't. Not here. This ain't the time. This ain't the time, man. But again, Arslan Ash, of course, he is arguably the GOAT of Tekken 7. Let's not be denying of that, right? We can't be naive to the fact that Arslan Ash really ended Tekken 7 being the greatest in that game, right? But he really was. But then there's also Ulsan, right, who disappeared for a majority of Tekken 7 after his ascension, who people think was next in line to be the greatest of all time as well. He disappeared, returned, and then now in Tekken 8 just started to re-emerge and to reclaim that throne as another one of the GOATs, or at least on the way to being the GOAT. So are we really gonna say that Arslan Ash lost because of hardware issue, or is it because the tournament itself is just really, really stacked, right? I cannot really, in my opinion, I cannot really judge what happened in this second point. But Arslan Ash, of course, leaving on day number 1 is a statement on how crazy Esports World Cup really is. It could have gone either way. What if Ulsan actually had his hardware issues, pretended it really was a hardware issue, or he just lost clean? And then Arslan Ash would stay. That's what I think. Hardware issue or no hardware issue, the tournament is just insanely nuts. It is just too big of a tournament to find a definitive winner, right? I said this on stream as well, that I cannot pick for the life of me. I do not know who is gonna make the grand finals or who is gonna be at even top 8, right? As far as top 8, I don't know. I cannot make a single deduction. I cannot come to a definitive conclusion who's top 8, much less the champ, right? Hello, Twansky, good evening. I am minding you and listening as well. So hello, guys. Thank you so much. Just to put a cap on the Arslan Ash topic, the early exit of Arslan Ash, I think that people should really be aware that stuff like this happens in tournaments, right? Especially with a tournament like EWC, where everybody's a heavy hitter. No player in EWC is considered a feeder, a jobber, or low tier. None of these players in Esports World Cup is less than spectacular. I'll be honest with you guys. Okay. So, number 3. Now, this right here is one of the most fulfilling things I have ever also seen and written, right? Because Knee, since the start of Tekken 8, we know that Knee is the Tekken GOAT. While yes, sure, Arslan Ash is, according to most people, the GOAT of Tekken 7, I personally feel that Knee is the greatest of all time. Granted, the legacy he's made leading to where he is now. Not to discredit anybody else, but that's just what I think. The legacy of Knee brought him to where he is. So for people to see that Knee struggles in Tekken 8, it really did raise a few eyebrows, right? Just to be honest. People thought that Knee is either struggling with the mechanic, or he's washed, age catching up to him and all that, or there's just really a lot of better players coming out right now. While those are, of course, real probabilities, I don't think that Knee is washed. I think he is so far from being washed. I think Knee, in the memes of Deadpool and Wolverine, he's gonna be doing this till he's 90. 91. But kidding aside, I think that Knee is definitely far from washed. Remember, we are entering year 1 of Tekken 8. We are barely there we haven't really even gone past season 1, right? So who knows, right? Ni, and if you guys are noticing it, Ni gets better every tournament outing he's in. He plays us better. He performs better. We see better things from him, right? So I don't think that Ni is washed. I do not think at all for a second that Ni is gone from the picture. If anything, I think that Ni is moving towards his Akuma arc. He is because I don't think that Ni is still in a cocoon right now. I think he's a butterfly, or he's a phoenix that's just waiting for the rest of his wings to grow wider, for that flame to be even bigger, right? I don't think that Ni at all is done. He's still going after these belts. He wants to be there. I know for a fact that Ni is still grinding. He's doing what needs to be done for him to be a much stronger player. And let's face it, man, none of us here in the chat have not heard of Ni. Everybody who plays Tekken, who has a brain cell involved in Tekken, has heard of Ni. So that's why I called it his groove. That is his mojo, his momentum. I feel that Ni is cooking something. I feel that he's cooking something. Not to mention, he got that far as a Brian Fury, right? And we're going to talk about another Brian later. So I feel that there's potential there. Ni going back to his roots, right? Dropping the Feng Wei, not to the point of not even recommending Feng Wei. I think that Ni is in his Batman Redemption arc. I think that Ni is gonna do something real mind-blowing eventually. Speaking of mind-blowing, he did make a really good moment, a few good moments actually, in EWC that really shook people. One would be a combo he did to Yagami that eliminated Yagami's life bar like that, and it's in style. You guys can look for it. It's all over YouTube, by the way. So he hit an orbital that extinguished Yagami's health via the Brian Rush, right? The Brian Rush on the wall. If you guys are unaware, it's a hard wall ender to do, where you have to time your presses, right? So that's actually stronger than the up forward 2-2-2-3 with snake eyes that most Brians do. Ni actually did the bigger combo, which is very rhythmic, right? So there's a bit of timing to it, and you had to be very careful when you do it, otherwise it's gonna drop. Hello Sonata, and hello Matthew, thank you so much for dropping by. The Jimmy Tran combo, I think so, maybe. Just dazzle me there, guys. I don't really name it because if anybody else can use it, it might lose its value. I don't know. It could be the Jimmy J Tran combo. Again, you guys in the chat, let me know how that really is and what that really is. Shout outs to Sonata, by the way. This music you're hearing right now, this is his own. Thank you for allowing me to use it. He did give me permission to use this these tracks for our stream. So thank you, Sonata. A very integral part of our podcast, by the way. Also, I feel that Ni, being one of the last few, I'd say, pure, no, not pure, like one of the longest reigning OG Tekken players ever that still plays in tournaments, that's Ni. So I cannot really say that he's washed. There's more to Ni than what we expect. Okay, now top 8, right? The top 8 of EWC. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm gonna miss somebody here. I didn't really 100% watch every single match, but or at least there are some parts of the matches that I missed. But let's talk about that. So we have Yagami, we have DRX Chanel, we have, I believe, Osama, or I could be wrong. I think it's Tanvir. I think Osama was in top 8, right? I could be wrong. If I remember, Osama was in top 8. Please do enlighten me. So I know that the John, hold on, yeah, there were like a bunch of Pakistanis in top 8. So let's go back. So we have Yagami, Chanel, we have Hafiz Tanvir, if I'm not wrong, and then we have I think it was Osama. One of them was Osama. And then we also have Bilal, if I'm not wrong. I think it was Bilal or the John, one of the two guys. We have double. Oh no, CBM. Sorry, CBM was there. So CBM, and then we have the top three. We have double. We have three more guys. The double, Ulsan, and Atif. So I think that's our top 8. Yeah, he did not make top 8. Yeah. So let's go back. Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I could be wrong. Right, with no coaching, we're gonna talk about that soon. I don't think that's a topic for tonight, but we're gonna talk about that soon. As a coach myself, I have my own takes. So let's go back. Chanel, Yagami, I believe it was either I think it was Hafiz Tanvir. Hafiz Tanvir. And we have Osama, I think. Yeah, Osama. CBM. Or was it the John? It was the John. Farzin. There we go. So let's go back, guys. Let's erase. I'm really sorry. We're taking so much time here. We have Chanel, Yagami, Farzin, the John, CBM. There we go. CBM, double, Ulsan, and Atif. Thank you. That's our definitive top 8, right? That is the entire top 8. Okay. One quick recap. Chanel, Yagami, Farzin, the John, Cherry Berry Mango, double, Ulsan, and Atif. There we go. Thank you. So the top 8 being a very, very stacked top 8 was also a statement. A very insane top 8 is also worth talking about, right? Let me get a quick whip. All right. So in this top 8, who did you guys really vote for? Which is actually one of our questions. You can type exclamation point question. You'll see the topic of the day. And please chime in. Again, you can talk about in chat topics that are not this. So in the top 8, I personally had my favorites, right? I don't want to say anybody yet. Up until I'm asked, but obviously one of them is Ni. Ni was not in top 8, was he? Ni was not in top 8, right? C2 Sai. Or you, just in general, you wanted, right? I don't think Ni was in top 8. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's. I'm gonna be sharing this as well in case you guys aren't aware, or in case you guys you haven't shared this yet. You ingrates. I'm just kidding. All right. So. In general, AK and me, I get you. So, having said that, I feel that, yeah, everybody had their favorites, right? So, of course, me, naturally, I wanted our boys to win, but also maybe some of my characters. Lohai, obviously, with the Steve, Pena with the Raven, and all that, right? There's so many names that I really wanted to go with. Mangja, by the way, another really good contender, another loss of course, Mangja, one of my favorites, but the representation of Mangja, or rather of double, it solved the case. I was happy enough because there's double. I'm a fake law. Well, I wouldn't. I'd say I'm an ancient law, right? Fake. I don't think I'm fake in the sense that I have at least DSS. Come on, but I'm not the best law ever out there. Law is barely in my top 5. At least he really wasn't. I'm just happy I got him to GOD here. It's a childhood dream come true. But yes, I'd say that within the top 8, I'm very happy that very happy that we got a variety of characters, which we're gonna get to that in just a moment. So let me see what you guys said. Ulsan, Atif, Yagami, double. Yeah, there we go. Although these are your votes, right? These are your votes. Says yeah. Okay. So I get you though. Chikarin also not making it to top 8 was a pain to a lot of people because Chikarin is also a world champion, a very, very well decorated world champion. So that also caught people off guard. Nobi was also a fan favorite, right? Let's not forget that Nobi is also another people pleaser, to say the least. Right, the whole world is behind Nobi, more so now that we have Dragunov as the obvious meta. So it's also a prediction that so many people made. Nobi will make it. And let's not forget another Dragunov. We have JDCR, who didn't make it to our top 8, but still considerably but still considerably a fan favorite. That's the top 10. Oh, that's the top 10. Gotcha. Thank you. Can't resist the Brian bias. I don't mind. I really don't mind. Thank you for clarifying, Sizzy. I appreciate that. So the Brian bias. I don't blame you. I think Brian is also Jules' next project. I think he wants to get his Brian to to GOD very, very soon. And I'm happy. I'm very happy that we get these types of representation. CBM because his adaptation is great, of course, and CBM being the Jin, right? A Jin in the tournament was huge because I believe the closest Jin apart from CBM was Raev, who didn't make it also to top 8, Saudi Arabia's own. But still, shout outs to the guy. Amazing Jin work, of course. Right? Falling short, really no shame in that, to be honest, because that tournament is just insanely filled to the brim. Okay, so let's talk about top 8. Jules Bob in Tekken 8, thank you. Yeah, me too. The top 8 that we have were comprised of different characters. One. Okay, here we go. Sergei Dragunov, right? Because why not? So we have Sergei Dragunov, without a doubt, the goated character of the game. It's a pain to me, and to some other Dragunov players out there, how Dragunov really just dominates the tournaments, and we're gonna hear more about that a little later on. We have Reina, in the form of Yagami, right? We have Law, right? So we have martial law in the highest tournament, or the highest tournament placement, so supposedly in the world right now at EWC, because Double won. He also won a championship of his own recently. So just showing how Law is also a very, very devastating character. I personally felt that power when I used Law. We're gonna talk about that soon again. But yes, Law is up there. Who else did I miss? Jin Kazama, obviously. Victor is also a very, very good entry in the top 8, because Victor has stirred quite the storm. I'm gonna answer your question rather about Dragunov in a bit. Victor being there. Speaking of Victor, also another formidable Victor, who, dude, another GOAT, right? Who didn't make it to top 8. That really says a lot. So Victor, another diverse character to say the least. Alisa, obviously, because of Chanel, right? King also there, right? And let's just mention Hafiz Tanvir as well, another Pakistani who also gave us some crazy Claudio play. Right, Alisa, we did mention that. But of course, top 8 being the way it is, it's just really too good. It's just really, really too good, guys. I also like the fact that for some reason there wasn't a single Feng Wei in our top 8. It's 1, right? 2? Yes, there we go. There, thank you, Ray Ash. That's the second point. No Yoshimitsu's made it to top 8. The closest was Sajewal, right? So Sajewal was a very, very strong Yoshimitsu in EWC. Really gave people a lot to think about. Me, personally, I was telling myself, if Sajewal made it to top 8, he's gonna be a huge problem. And last but not least, not completing the top 10, or the top 8 rather, sorry, Nina Williams, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. No one used a Nina in top 8. I cannot remember. It's because as far as I know, no one did. Sajewal, my beloved. Of course, boiled eggs. I'm not surprised. No Ninas in top 8, right? I don't remember anybody from the top 8 pulling out a Nina Williams. I don't remember. So, top 8 being like that really, really brings a tear to my eye. Happy tears. Excuse me. Especially the one with double. Was it only Kokoma who used Feng? At least the ones that we saw. Right? As far as I know, nobody did either. Did Joka not use Feng? I think Joka did. Yagami used it once, yes. I think Osan can pull off Nina, yes. Infested can pull off Nina, right? So those are just some. Those are just some of the potential Nina candidates that we would have. Jod was Nina. Okay, let me answer the quick question. Here by King Chris. Do you think Dragunov needs nerfs? If yes, what move should be nerfed in order to put Dragunov on par with every character? Stay tuned, King Chris. We're gonna go to topic number 9. Please stick around because that's what we're gonna talk about. Second question. Will the single elimination FT5 be a good format for top 8 in future tournaments? To be honest with you, it's amazing. In my opinion, I love that format. I love that format. It validates your top 8 run. You know, it validates your efforts to make it the top 8. But the downside is, in my opinion, for me, is the fact that it's such a Grand Prix format. Being undefeated doesn't matter. Because once you get to the top, right, grand final slot, it's still the same as entering top 8. So basically, you play top 8 until you win. You would play top 8 until you win the whole thing. Oh, Aspa, that's a very good question. I actually have a separate podcast for that. I consider that a very good topic. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, but I'll tell you my idea on that. I hope you'll be here. Because again, as a coach, that affects me. Right? So hopefully you guys can stick around for that topic because I really enjoy that question as well. You're not the first to ask me that too, Aspa. There were other messages here on chat and off stream who asked about coaching. Is it a good idea or a bad idea? Yeah, it's like group stage finals, then the top 8 is finals final. Yeah, that's a good and a bad thing in my opinion, but I personally like the first to 5 format because it opens up so many doors for different characters. Different styles, different approaches, different characters, different meta. I feel that if that became a staple in other tournaments, it would be so much more exciting. Right? Which leads me to my point, which will lead to my point number 6 later, guys. It will lead me to my point later here. Hoping no invitationals in the future for FGs. I'm scared of having an E-League incident again. We'll talk about that another time, sis. Yeah. Let's see what that's gonna be. Because I feel that there's also room for FGs in invitationals. In my opinion, there's room for invitationals. Top 6, but all top 6 is first to 5. There we go. That's a fair point. A sneaky. We'll talk about that in a bit, okay? Which is also because that coincides with EWC 2025, right? But again, we're gonna get to that topic very, very soon. I enjoy the fact that you guys, as early as now, you're already talking about it. I'm really, really happy. Yes, that's the point. It's so Grand Prix. It's super, super Grand Prix. Let's move to point number 5. We're halfway done through the podcast, right? But again, I hope you guys will stick around for this. Chanel on Zafina. I mentioned so many characters in top 8 already, but this right here woke me up at about 1:30 or 2:30 in the morning when I saw that Chanel brought out the Zafina. It was a huge sign personally because I have students who are Zafina players who are having so much trouble against Zafinas. I'm looking at you guys in the comments in the chat. I'm looking at you viewers right now who have asked for Zafina matchup knowledge, or those enrolled in my programs. I'm looking at you guys, and you know how complicated Zafina can be in the good and the bad way. Zafina is still viable when Chanel uses her. The funny thing is, Aspa, Chanel's not the only player that I've been eyeing as a Zafina GOAT. Right? As a Zafina GOAT, it's not just Chanel, trust me. Just a different playstyle than before. There we go. Sneaky makes a good claim there. I also personally believe that Zafina, while she's not meta, and while she's considered lower mid to bottom tier by some players, she excels in some matchups. Some if not all, or some if not a lot. Zafina has her perk. Right? She's no longer busted, but the way that she's made in this game right now, she has her flavor. She has some matchups that can be completely on her side. And trust me when I say this, even some of the characters in our top 5 will have a problem against Zafina. Thank you, Dan Dice. I appreciate that. Thank you. Chanel Zafina is annoying and slimy. And again, trust me, Sizia, it's not just Chanel. It's not just Chanel. There are other Zafinas out there that you people may not know how Zafina really is. Shadow's been showing, yes, how strong Zafina is since day one. I had faith in Zafina. I did mention this. The Hours of Zafina Masterclass. You see, I also said it before that Zafina, despite the spoiler that some of our foreign players gave us before Tekken 8 came out, that Zafina was going to be weak. I feel that some of her matchups would still favor her. Zafina's still so good against Mishimas. I'll just give you guys a few. She's still very, very good against Mishimas. She's still good against Steve. She's still good against Ling Xiaoyu. She's good against Yoshimitsu. Right? There are some matchups that Zafina is still very good at. It just so happens that there's a different approach to Zafina already. Okay? And Chanel, just for the love of Zafina, showed us how really, really good she still is. She's good with Brian. I agree. She still has her moments against these characters. Zafina is a counter meta? Yes. Very much so. Depends on the matchup. Nowadays, most good players main multiple characters counterpick based on the opponent. True enough. True enough. Zafina is fairly good against bears, especially Panda. I'm not even kidding. She is good against the bears, with Kuma slightly bigger problem because the God Fist, right? Let's be honest. But she can take on Panda almost without effort, as long as the Zafina plays her cards right, as long as she's smart enough to do what she needs to do. Yes, I believe so too. Sonic Fox is getting some mileage. And because Zafina is a very, very thick book worth of knowledge check, especially for new players. Let's not forget that. Zafina is an encyclopedia of knowledge checking. So I feel that if you're caught unaware by Zafina, you definitely are gonna be left with your mouth open. Right? She doesn't have to play small poke Tekken anymore. Actually, here is the catch. I feel that Zafina on knockdown, whenever she knocks you down, she is the knockdown queen. She is a 50-50 queen whenever she knocks you down. I will not retract that claim. I feel that Zafina is an insane knockdown mixer-upper, if you get what I mean. Yep, Zafina definitely a lab character. If you don't know how your character will pick her up from either Mantis and or Tarantula, you have a problem. Some characters are already cursed not having a pickup from that. Knockdown mix or OK, both. Zafina has so many ground hitting attacks. Right? Knockdowns are so strong in 8 because it doesn't give the person a chance to even challenge your frames. There we go. With Zafina, she has so many options when you're lying down. Right? And despite all this hard selling, Zafina remains non-meta. Because again, so many characters can do what she does. Or at least close to what she does. Just a different way and a different degree. But Zafina, when she gets the ball rolling, listen to me very closely, guys. You face the other way. That's one. Or two, you wake up and you eat a plus. Right? So Zafina, in a manner, has her own personal blender. Not to mention, if you panic whenever she's in stance, you're done for. My only button for her is Brian's down 2 in a well-timed soccer kick. If she commits, yes. But I know that Brian can pick her up. I've seen a Brian pick Zafina up. Clean. I've seen some pickups. Anyways, let's continue. So Chanel on Zafina led to a 4-0, right? This 4-0 between Zafina and Reina was crazy. I, for one, witnessed the whole thing and definitely plowed through. Right? A very game Yagami. We're gonna get to the next point. Best wall Oki, not the best Oki in general. In Tekken 7, I believe that Yoshimitsu had the best Oki. In this game, I don't think best Oki, but yes, arguably best wall. One of the best wall Okis in the game, if not already. Yeah, King has one of the best Okis also on Wake Up. I still think that Kazuya does have the best general Oki because of Crouch Dash 1+2. So I think that Kazuya and King are up there. Let's talk about it later. Yes, we will. Okay. But Zafina is, in my opinion, a dominating performance by Chanel, right? I felt that Zafina, if not for the first to 5 mechanic of Tekken, of the Esports World Cup for Tekken 8, Yagami was done. He was done twice over. Imagine that. And again, I'm not going to discredit Yagami. I'm just talking about the mechanic of the tournament, right? If not for the first to 5, Yagami would have been eliminated twice by a Zafina, dude. Reina, arguably a middle Mishima, almost top tier Mishima, taken out by Zafina, man. I cannot stress that enough. We don't see that very often, right? That's why it's such a big point here on my podcast. You don't see that very often. So imagine that. 4-0. So what it means on a normal setting is that Yagami was taken down to, say, pretend he was on winner's side, eliminated by Chanel. If he faced Chanel on lower bracket, he's gone. He's gone as well. He would have been gone. So that's how dominating the Zafina was, right? So, and yeah, we're gonna talk about that, Ray Ash. We're gonna talk about that a little later. Who was it that beat Yagami earlier in the bracket and said, I realized he's just all attack. Once I put him on defend, he cannot win. That kind of is true for every Reina player. There's a certain point to that. There's a certain degree of accuracy to that. Because I feel that Reinas, and I know I'm gonna get some heat for this. Reinas or Reina players definitely have a sense of crutch. They're also carried by the way that Reina is. I'll be honest. Skills aside, no matter the skill, Reina has crutch factor. Her Tekken 8 mechanic is just so giving. Reina's Tekken 8 system is, yes, exactly. Reina's Tekken 8 approach is tailored for the game. What factor, you say? The entirety of Reina's toolkit. Reina has the most moves amongst the 3 new characters. So she has a very expansive toolkit that allows players to do something else once a certain loop is figured out. Right? She is a Tekken 8 character. She's definitely a Tekken 8 character. I actually said that. I also admitted that plainly. Reina is a Tekken 8 character made for Tekken 8. Right? Well, normally a stance character only has 1 or 2 moves, says Sneaky. In stance that are frame traps to condition people to respect your stances. But Sentai make every single stance a frame trap. There we go. You don't really need to think about what option to pick. Yeah, the thing with Reina is every time she goes to Sentai, it's a roll of the dice. She's the most well-engineered character for Tekken 8. I feel that she is one of the. She's really one of the. If not already the most well-engineered Tekken 8 character. Because I feel that some other characters are also engineered for Tekken 8 and they're not Reina. Yeah, I know it's weird, right? I know it's weird. I know it's weird. But I do feel that Reina's up there. She's one of the most properly engineered character in Tekken 8, literally made for the mechanic, right? Or made to perfect the mechanic. Every time Reina goes to Sentai and or Heaven's Wrath, it's always a roll of the dice. It's not 50-50, right? It's 20-20-20 and you get the rest. Sometimes it's even 25-25, but it's still crazy odds. There are so many options, right? And her mids are hit confirmable in stance. Not to mention she has built-in reversals. The more reason for you to be careful whenever Reina does that. Okay? So let's go back to the Zafina, right? Let's compare Zafina. Zafina in this game, upon release, it was without a doubt that she was really bad. I didn't mind. I still liked using Zafina, but I was on an exploration stage, right? I had to see who among my characters I would really want to try to rank up first or to learn first before I go to Zafina. But Zafina was definitely on the list. You guys know this already by now. Zafina is the only female character I ever took seriously in my Tekken career. So now there's an addition of Asuka, maybe Katarina if she comes out in the future, but it really was Zafina. It still is. It's still Zafina for me. So having said that, I had to really dabble into what would make her better. And apparently the developers are also listening. Reduced self-damage was good, right? That's all I needed. I'm picking her up after TGU. Oh, okay. I did pick up Asuka because I have students who are Askas. Not to say that I will 100% commit to Asuka, but because I have students who are Asuka, I want to learn more. I want to get more knowledge in as an Asuka. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your time here. Thank you for letting the stream boom. I'm really happy. So let's go back. So Zafina being a character that I feel really, really didn't get a lot of light in the past, is now getting the attention she actually deserves, right? It's very amusing because Asuka is, in my opinion, she has, oh sorry, Zafina rather. Zafina has the strengths, like I said. She has matchups that she will completely obliterate or at least not have a hard time with, right? There are some that because of the new mechanics she dropped off. Like based on observation, Zafina will now struggle against Law, which used to not be the case. That was very obvious that Zafina will now struggle against Law. And that's only one declaration. Zafina will also, I believe, struggle against Jin now, I feel. I could be wrong, but I feel that Zafina will now have a very diverse matchup ratio. I like that. Yes, exactly. Not to mention she can no longer prolong her stay in Tarantula because wata. Because 1 + 2 will fish her off. Free combo. Law doesn't have to think. So that's one realization that I had. It became way easier for Law, or at least noticeably easier. Zafina now can take on Jack, by the way. Well, I think she never really had that much of a problem, but it's now it's still apparent that she can take on Jack. Okay, so enough of that. Still good stuff on Chanel's Zafina, right? Really good call that Zafina came out for Chanel. I was really happy. But let's talk about the chip in the armor. What happened during the set between Chanel and Yagami, which leads me to point number 6. Okay. Whew, this is so much. This is too much to take. I was on Discord with a few friends while this was happening. I already saw personally that Yagami, it looked like he was shattered already. It looked like Yagami was done, right? 4-0. Ask anybody in the competitive scene in a tournament setting. That was it. 4-0 was honestly the guillotine of your run, right? 4-0 in any tournament would have been honestly mentally detrimental for anyone. But Yagami was able to power through it. I'm not gonna go through the entire details of how that happened. I'd like you guys to watch it yourself. But for context, for stream reference, Yagami, yes, Yagami had the crowd behind him, right? Yagami had the crowd behind him, and for some reason it clicked. The last neuron he had expanded into an entire electrical surge, right? And his body just functioned out of nowhere. All right, so hello to everybody. Hello. I'm not gonna read your comment here, boiled eggs. I don't want to get flacked, but I completely understand the reference. Greatest comeback ever? Yes, indeed. Or one of the, in my opinion. Hello, Banana. Thank you for dropping by. I'm just checking the comments real quick. 4-0 is a guillotine, and Yagami had the metal neck brace. Dude, he basically, either it was a guillotine and he had a neck brace, right? Or he had adamantium the whole time. maybe the Chanel set that 4-0 was the injection phase of adamantium, right? Maybe it was the emergence of Weapon X, right? It was the time where he had adamantium infused in his skeleton. So that was insane. So Yagami's crazy comeback, in case you guys are unaware, it went down to the wire. Final round. Yagami down on health. Those losses are the Infinity Stones, right? True enough. So Yagami was down by so much. He was down literally, I think, rage territory. Chanakun, hello. Yagami was in rage territory. And that was it, man. For lack of a better term, that was it. Yagami was done. But for some reason, he stepped on the gas. Went the full 100. 120, 200. Let's go with 200. And just went on the offense. Yes, so many strings worked. Yeah, he played Tekken 8, right? And that just justified more what I said, that Reina's moveset. A lot more moves started coming out because he stopped fishing for Raiden. He stopped doing FF2 alone. More moves started coming out. He was punishing sharp, right? And he always caught. This is what I felt was the turning point. Was the turning point for his momentum. He started hitting Chanel with so many mule kicks. In case you guys are unaware, a mule kick is the full crouch DF4 launcher, 15 frame launcher from crouching, right? Kirito Yuki, hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you. My name is Pica. I'm a Tekken professional from the Philippines. I do commentary, coaching, streaming, and I was a pro player as well. Thank you for dropping by the gym. Welcome to another episode of the PicaPad. I really appreciate that. Thank you. We're talking about our previous topics, esports World Cup. So thank you. Please sit in, grab a cold one or a warm one in this case, and enjoy the talk. Okay. So having said that, Yagami was in my opinion, he ran out of options, right? He ran out of all the things that he needed to do, but for some reason it just worked. It just clicked. This just goes to show, guys, how tides can really turn for Tekken. And let's not forget that Chanel is one of the best players in the world. And you know, I'll be honest with you guys. In case the commentators didn't actually catch on to this, or if the people didn't catch on to this, it was a cashback. It was a bit of a retribution for Australia. Why? Because Chanel won it. Bam. Chanel qualified in Australia. Imagine that. People did not notice that. In case you guys didn't catch on to that as well. Chanel qualified in Australia. And he got eliminated by one of their prime players, if not their strongest player to date. So that right there is a tale, right? That is how completely insane the tides of fate actually turn. So anyways, while we're here, Flava, thank you for disrupting the chat as well. Thank you, I appreciate that. I really do. And again, we cannot really fulfill the entire 1 hour, but we'll try to condense it if we can. In case you guys are not enjoying, you let me know. But if you guys are, then let's try to go a little further, right? So big props to Yagami. I feel that Yagami is just gonna keep getting better from here, because that was one heck of a hurdle. That is one heck of a run before he got eliminated, right? Come on, guys. Yagami, dude. I am way more pleased with that comeback than any other comeback I've seen to date for Tekken 8. I don't want to say that it's one of the greatest of all time, but it definitely is so far, right? Thank you for following the gym, Sengoku. I appreciate that. Thank you. My name is Pica. I'm a Tekken professional from the Philippines. I do commentary. I do coaching. I've been streaming for quite a bit, like maybe 4 years now. 3 to 4 years. Been on Twitch for about 1.5 years, almost 2. Thank you for dropping by. I was a pro player as well. Please sit down in the PicaPad. Let me, if you aren't seated already. Thank you, guys. What are the requirements for qualifying top 3 on certain tourneys? What are you talking about exactly here, Chanakun? Enjoying this listening while I'm cleaning up. Thank you, Matthew. I love Flava. Okay, so you brought more of the people here. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. But this just goes to show how Flava will definitely bring in the noise. To qualify for EWC, there were different ways. Some qualifiers would get as much as, I believe, top 8. Some of them, I believe, had more lenient qualifiers. I believe there was top 4 in DreamHack. Yeah, it depends on tournaments. It depends on the tournament. Yeah, DreamHack Dallas needed top 8, and other tournaments had top 2. So there were a bunch, and some of them, I believe, were already invited. Right? So there were some who had it better because of their organization slots. But again, not to say they don't deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. Okay. Oh, no invitations? Oh yeah, no invitationals. Never mind. Yeah, if there's no invitational, that's good. But yeah, the qualifiers. Never mind. There were, yeah. Forgive me. There were just a bunch of qualifiers, rather. Forgive me. Yeah, no invitationals. But you did need to win a bunch. Major runner. Yeah. There we go. CEO was top 2. KSK already Yeah. Some of these were already there. Some of these qualifiers were amazing, right? Okay. So yeah, I believe we're looking at a bit of a prize pool breakdown here. So thank you for that, Sid. Yeah, I really appreciate that. All right. So going back, Yagami, we got that done. Thank you. Now this is where we're gonna have a little bit of a bias, right? Because with double, the only law player who also made it in, not to mention of course CBM being the only Jin. This is really insane, because it's been a back and forth debate amongst people why Law is considered a top tier character. Why Law is a very strong character to date. Okay, so one, dude, I knew from the beginning that Law was gonna be S tier even more in Tekken 8 because DSS became way easier, right? So having said that, I feel that double just made it even more convincing that Law is a very strong character. 97 damage at the wall. An optimized Law is scary, yes. Now we're gonna talk about Law, right? Because as you guys may know, I just got Law to God of Destruction very recently. I think days old, right? Oh, who's this? Highlight of a message. Oh, never mind. That was a note. Okay. My bad. Which player do you wish you saw to make it to EWC top 8, Coach? Low High. Low High, and there's 3. I wanted Low High, Pina, and Ow. These are just 3 of the 3 players I wish made it to top 8. But again, too good, too stacked. Yeah, you guys know the rest. So, okay, let's talk about Law, right? And you guys feel free to feel free to time skip this when we get to our VODs. But if you want to talk about Law, based on my recent experience with Law, it's so funny because I can't believe why I personally did not also pick up Law when the game finally came out, because Law was the only character I played during the tests, specifically CNT. Because there was no Raven, there was no Steve, there was no Dragunov. I played Law. And even then, I already saw that Law was so strong. He was so good, right? I just said to myself, no, because you're not ready for Law. I still admit that to this day. I don't think that my Law is as optimal or as good as my other characters. I feel that so much. But that's not to say that he's not strong, right? Law in the right hands. He is the best. He's another one of the best cases wherein the character is real monstrous. If the person who uses it, if the person who uses Law is top notch, top level, right? As some of you guys said, an optimized Law is scary. This is one of the reasons why I feel that Law was more deserving of the light than a lot of the other top tier characters. Okay, let's talk about this. And thank you, Edward Zerep, or Edward Perez, maybe, if I'm assuming that right. Hello, my name is Pica. I'm a Tekken professional from the Philippines. I do commentary, I coach, I stream. I was a pro player as well. Thank you for following. We're almost at our count. Thank you so much. I have thoughts on Hwoarang's RFS down 4-3-4 move on Heat to have no stagger when the low kick is blocked. The reason for that, I think staggering, is because with Heat, it sweeps automatically, doesn't it? Who do you think were the other characters? Do you think were top tier in CBT? June was top tier. June was top tier at the time. Kazuya. Kazuya was, I think, also kind of top tier at the time. I think you didn't pick up Law because you are. Yeah, I was upset. Exactly. Yeah, there. Double is scary. The key charge run up the rage art is crazy. I've seen something like that before, but to do that in a tournament again, because Double did something similar to that in Tekken 7. I wasn't surprised, but with such little health is just nuts. Yeah, I was a bit upset that his DSS was so easy or got easier. But now that I looked at it, you still need the traditional DSS. The blue stuff still pays more rewards than it shouldn't. So I feel that you still need to be a legitimate Law, guys. You need to have the real DSS. I don't think that Law got easier. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys here. I don't think that Law became as mainstream as we think he would be because of DSS being easier. Because one, that's an execution thing. You can train them. I feel that Law, his game plan ever since, never changed. That's why some people still don't pick him up. It's hard to be a Law player. There are some matchups that Law needs to dig deeper because his best tools cannot be put into work. What are these best tools? The slide, the hammer, a forward 3, running 3, the DSS mix-ups. There are so many other tools that he cannot use on everyone's matchups. Thank you for allowing me to meet my follower goal for today and for the rest of the stream. Ryan Will, I hope I'm reading that right. Thank you for following the gym. My name is Pica. I'm a Tekken professional from the Philippines. I do commentary, I stream, I'm a coach, I'm an analyst as well. I was a pro player. Thank you for dropping by. Please feel free to sit through the podcast and the stream. So why is it that Law is held? Why is he held back from being within the meta? Again, it's because his game plan does not change. It hasn't changed ever. You try to make people crack under pressure with your hammer, with your lows, with your slides, with punish at a certain distance, right? It's still a problem for Law to approach. His approach tools aren't the best, to be honest. They're either linear or punishable or non-jail. So there's that. His launchers, aside from DF2, are lackluster. I feel that his strongest launcher now is still DF2, followed closely by sidestep 3+4. If you guys are unaware, sidestep 3+4 is a can Law that doesn't from Law that doesn't launch. Is not launch punishable, and is not -13, or is not as bad as a normal hop kick. Nunchucks are just quality of life follow-up. Nunchucks is what made Law God. The nunchucks. If you guys follow my stories, I even status nunchaku at one point. Law's nunchucks are just so good. It's a godsend. I always say that. Law's nunchucks literally propelled him higher, in my opinion, when it comes to heat tools. It's probably in my top 5 best heat tools in the game, or probably top 10. Just my opinion. So, again, let's be clear on this. Law is definitely in the top 10. But I think the lack of, or the non-changing or the everlasting game plan that he has stops people from actually liking him. Because in the mind of a layman player, they would rather Shaheen than Law. In the mind of a player who doesn't want to exert as heavy effort, they would just Shaheen, which is true. And I'm not saying that Shaheen is a noob character, but he is also very, very well equipped to handle the mechanics of the game, right? Because if you're gonna be smart about it, yes, you're definitely just gonna go with Shaheen. If you think about it. Ouch, says Cierno. Of course, I don't mind you getting hurt, Cierno. It's just facts, bro. I have a lot of Shaheens in chat, and they're not saying anything because it's true. Shaheen is a much easier version of Law, right? With less execution and so on and so forth. But here's the catch. Law has his perks. His punishment game that hits hard. Of course it does. Because it's true. Shaheen's DF1 is arguably one of the best in the game. Yeah, Shaheen has all the tools too, and with less effort. Let's be honest here. Shaheen's back one is now like Law's hammer. He has one of the best approach tools in the game in a forward 1. Law doesn't have a definitive approach tool. His hop kick is basically Law's up forward 4 without the risk. He'll never be launch open to anybody except Kazuya. Perfect Kazuya. Yeah, he has both a hop kick and an orbital. I play Shane because I see myself in in me. Plain and no personality. I don't think Shaheen has no personality. It's just that I feel that Shaheen is his own man. He's just really there to play Tekken in the most Tekken way possible. Forward back to my beloved. Yes. And Shaheen has his perks. Shaheen has his X-ray. Law has no X-ray mechanic. Right? Shaheen's combos, it's a choice to do the big boy or not. It's only a choice. It's not even mandatory. But with Law, you need to have DSS. Even the ugly DSS. Right? Hi Idol, says Kiri Nimuri. Hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the podcast. So let's be honest here. Shaheen is definitely Law simplified. Right? So you guys know the meme, the Suicide Squad meme, where Bloodsport was followed by Peacemaker. That's that's Shaheen and Law right there. Somebody actually has to make that. Yeah, Shaheen is a Swiss Army knife. Very good comparison. Or a toolkit. Right? He's very much a toolkit. That meme in the Suicide Squad, that's Law and Shaheen. But why is Shaheen not S tier? Right? Because again, he is very, very straightforward. Law has at least some layers in his gameplay. Not to mention, Law has one of the strongest wall combos in the game. I am not gonna deny that. I will not even be pissed if they take it out. Lars is different. Lars is nuts, but he's a monkey. Lars, you will press. You will dance around one way or another. Something will hit. You don't even think about it. I'm not saying that Lars is a no-brainer. But Lars is definitely... He's an ape. Lars is an ape. He basically has Ebola. He will just go all over the place and just one way or the other something will hit and it's big. It's painful. Shaheen is Jack of all trades, master of none. He's kind of like that. The original Jack of all trades, master of none is Armor King. Yes, I am actually saying that. Armor King definitely is. He is a Wukong in his own way. Does Kuma deserve more buffs? Absolutely not. He deserves nerfs. And this is me speaking as a bear player myself. He deserves nerfs. The Godfish should not be that big of a plus. Reject humanity, embrace monkey. Monk. Okay, so going back, sorry, we derailed there a little bit, right? So Law being in the top 4 is a testament that if you can actually optimize Law to its full potential with loyalty, commitment, right, and sharpness, basically game knowledge, he is devastating. The female equivalent of Law, in my opinion, is Nina Williams. Kuma's electric is a mid, is a special mid. No more Armor King banned forever. Stop it, Daniel. Stop it. Just stop. Get some help. You know what I'm about to say? You know what I'm about to say? We gotta make a different goal now, guys. I'm so sorry. Give me a quick second to update that. Thank you for allowing me to reach the goals. Really, really, thank you. Thank you. We're gonna manage our goals real quick. Start a new one. And we're headed towards our better goal. Okay, there we go. Voila. Back to our new goal. I'll drag for Armor King. Hell, dude, he's my main. Lars is more ape in 8 than 7, says Ryan Will. Yes, absolutely. Not even close. Dude. Second 7 Lars can't make a mistake. I swear to God, if they give Heihachi a similar Godfish on heat like Kuma, I'm gonna lose it. They might. Imagine if Akuma or Geese comes back to Tekken 8, then Tekken 8 will go to the dust. I promise you. So many players will hate it because there's so much PTSD going on from the 2D characters. Okay. So again, Law is, in my opinion, in terms of skill, is the female equivalent of Nina Williams. I'm not saying that Nina is I don't think that Nina is any easier than Law. But her being top tier, arguably S plus alongside Yoshimitsu, according to some people, just really is a statement. But the biggest requirement is you have to be good. You have to be a good Nina player. Good evening, Taco. No more 2D characters, bring 3D fighting game characters. Absolutely. Oh, is Zato already Tekken God? Time to cue Zafina then. I'm waiting. I have to snipe Zato. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for Zato to log in. Okay, I'll wait. I should add you so that I'll see. We don't need any more meter characters. Yes, we don't. Don't snipe. Who's gonna stop me? I'm just kidding. Anyway. Okay, so we're done with law. Now let's go to the big one here. The other two topics are also pretty light, so we're gonna try to finish this. Ulsan versus Atif. Need we say more, guys? Need we say more? Bloody Roar. Oh, come on, don't get me started on Bloody Roar. I would love that. Yeah. Buff Devil Jin, please. We're gonna see that. We're gonna see. I'm sure we are gonna see that. What else? What am I missing? Characters like Negan. I'll accept. You will accept Negan. I'm asleep if Double loses because I don't want to see a drag mirror. I was wrong. Oh yeah, Dragon of Mirror for sure. Jab checks one Ulsan the game. You see, people with observations. Okay, now let's talk about this. Ulsan versus Atif. In my opinion, as far as I saw it, Ulsan just played Ulsan. He reskinned Kazumi. DF1 became the most useful move. Smart. That's what me and Jules were also talking. We're gonna end the entire deduction or the entire call of this match with one simple sentence. Ulsan's small Tekken game was just better for that tournament. Ulsan's small Tekken game dominated it. Right, there we go. I was just talking about it, Taco. So it came to the point that Atif was playing Tekken 8. Right? He was playing Tekken 8 against a Tekken 7 player. Atif was pushing his big Tekken, especially QCF4. Hatchet kicks even. And Ulsan blocked a few. Small Tekken prevailed. Yes, exactly. Yes, it was a reskin. Ulsan reskinned the Dragunov to be a Kazumi. If you guys saw it. There was nothing huge with what Ulsan was doing. And whenever he would actually land a counter hit, it was absolutely on point. He blocks the down twos to the very last frame. Hatchet kicks were blocked. Sidesteps were on point. It even came to the point that his 1-to-1 would hit Atif completely on the side. Or would hit Atif's Dragunov completely on the side. Not as a counter hit, but as an actual sidestep punish. So that right there just goes to show how Ulsan was really dominating the game with movement, rhythm, game sense, and just the most compact Tekken I have ever seen, at least in that tournament, right? And we can expect that it might happen again. Because I think that's Ulsan being in his zone, right? Dragumi. Basically, it's a Kazumi Dragunov, right? Yeah, Ulsan. If you ever rewatch the games again, he didn't do anything spectacular. There was nothing too special about it. And yes, there we go. Sidestep heat smash was very, very on point. Those were the only chunks that Ulsan ever landed, to be honest. Sure, he got a few heat engagers every now and then, but the biggest things that he landed were the heat smashes. Right? That was it. That was the biggest things that Ulsan ever landed in that entire set. Right? Ulsan, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. He had zero to little hatchets. Almost none. He was still hungry fighting Atif. Maybe that's the point. He wanted to eat. I would have been on a rush as well if you needed to eat. Right? If he wanted to eat at all. Yeah. There was no hatchet, if I remember correctly. My nerves are over, dopamine is crazy, and I'm still hungry. Yes. Right? So you see, time to snack on 300k USD. What's up, Dinugan-san? Hey, Gio, appreciate it. Thank you for dropping by. Okay, so we're already at point number 8, in case you guys are wondering. So if I'm gonna go a little further into the Ulsan versus Atif. And funny enough, this is the most important part of the entire tournament. Why is it that this is probably the shortest thing that we can talk about, right? Why is this the most important thing, the shortest thing that we can talk about in this entire podcast? It's because of point number 9. It is because of the next point that we are going to talk about. If that grand finals did not have maybe a Dragunov at the very end of it, it would have fared very differently. I'm not saying that Ulsan might not win it, but the results might be very varied, right? It might have changed real quick. Or it might not have been a 5-0. It might have been a 4-5, right? We'll never know. But this, of course, leads us to our point. Do you think Ulsan would have done the same if Ulsan is using Feng? No. No. No, I don't think so. It might have lasted a little longer. The results might have been slightly different. Okay, slightly different. Dragunov can only be Dragunov. You see, this is what I said too at the end of it all. You need a monster to beat a monster, right? But I don't think that Ulsan would have... I don't think that the difference will be that big. Maybe Ulsan just really played really small Tekken, right? But I think that... I don't know. It's hard to tell. But I'm pretty sure it would not look the same. I don't think that the complexion will be the same. The rounds might have been farther or closer. I don't know. Right? But I think it would still be, in my opinion, it would still be who plays the better Tekken more. Hey, who would think? Maybe Atif would have 5-0'd him. Right? I do think it's not the same. I don't think it's not the same entirely. Not to say Ulsan would have not won it, like I said, but I don't think it's going to be entirely the same picture to have been painted. I might be Brian biased, but this is my observations. In all previous tournaments, almost all Brians are eliminated by drags. Dude, everyone's gonna be eliminated by drags. A fun fact, by the way. Yesterday, I joined a tournament for fun. I joined a fun tournament at a mall. Almost zero sleep. Almost no sleep. It was a very, very random scenario for me and the friends. I was like, you want us to join? Let's just join. I just joined for whatever reason. Plus, I knew the owner, so I was like, I'm very happy to have helped the tournament. I lost the 2 Dragunovs. Not to say that they don't have skill, but let's be honest here. Dragunov is just really too much, right? I just used Law and Steve. I was just happy because I've never had a tournament experience since 2019. I did side quest. Who beat me? Dude, stop it, Flava. Dude, I already predicted that I will suck at a tournament that I joined. I'm gonna have I have a lot of catching up to do in tournaments. Wham beat me for winners, and Dragon King beat me for lower. And again, this was just me. Just to be honest, I was just really having fun. Not to say I didn't try. Obviously, I tried to win, but I wouldn't. It didn't make me sweaty. Just to be honest with you guys, I'll be honest. It's not the type. It's not the tournament. QCF4 is a perfect move, yes, but I don't think that's the best move. Dragunov's best move, most beginner-friendly move in the game. Most beginner-friendly. Tundra freaking slash. Back 4-3. Okay. EWC drag mirror, yes. 2 drags in top 8. You think Atif would have caught up to Ulsan's play during the set? Both of them were using the same weapon, but no, exactly. Dude, remember in like Dragunov 8, yes. And again, guys, trust me, okay? In case you guys are just saying, oh, coaches all talk, all like this and that. No, the thing is, the reality is, I'd never prepare for tournament unless I really want to, right? In a tournament setting, and in a tournament setting, regardless of what it is, right? In a tournament setting, the mindset would always be different, right? I went there literally not wanting to play or just not wanting to do a tournament. But whatever happened, right? And it's still a Dragunov thing. It's just really for fun. So I don't want to hear anything from you else, Flava. Back 4-3. Back in Tekken 7 was scary using that, but now because of the reward, it's scary to duck. Dragunov's back 4-3. Thunder Slash is just too much, in my opinion. Okay, so now, I don't know if we can talk about what I feel should be nerfed for Dragunov. They are very different. They're very different. Not to mention, again, I'm not in any will to play a tournament. Dude, I even lost our match in the... What's this? I even lost our match in the team battle. We had a small team battle, just whatever. I even lost my only match there, but I was using Law. Again, not in any condition to compete or anything professional, just have fun, right? But let's go back to the topic here. Dragunov. Fun fact, I actually played Dragunov yesterday and I was grossed out. No, it's not gonna go back. It's not gonna go back to that state. So I was really grossed out. Because what I was doing, I didn't need to do anything spectacular. It was bad. And it was just really, I wanted to take a bath after that. Okay, so let's talk about it. Number 1 nerf, Tundra Slash. I'll talk about at least 5 nerfs. Tundra Slash, back 4-3. Back 4-3 needs a nerf. 1, it could stay as an engager. It's fine. Lose the combo. But I didn't expect this, yes. Yeah, I needed to take a bath after that. Giving a Dragon of a hatchet will make him go way up, but I didn't expect this. Yes, dude, the hatchet got nerfed to oblivion, but it's still usable, right? And I said this from way back. It would really break him, because that was Dragunov's biggest weakness offensively. He didn't have a really strong low. But the hatchet was enough. Okay, so back 4-3 has to go. Either 1, lose the combo. Stay as an engager, it's fine. 2, either you keep the either you lose the combo or you keep the combo, scaled very, very, very massively. So the damage needs to be very, 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 very tiny. Kind of like how they did with Paul. Paul's F2, despite the fact that it's a 13 frame high launching elbow, it doesn't do damage, man. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It does not do damage. Just remove QCF4? No. It has to be nerfed. Excuse me. It just needs to serve a slightly less dominating purpose. 1, remove the plus of 7, make it 3. 3. No, it can hit grounded. But listen to this. Yeah, I'm actually leaning towards the fact that it should also be 0. Because 0 might be fine because it walls splats. Thank you, Banana. Because it wall splats. 0 will be fine because it hits grounded. 0 will be fine because it's an engager. It launches with heat. 0 is fine. But to take out the novelty of the move, it should not exceed an insane lock potential, because behind the wall you're forced to eat it again and again and again. So I think it should be like maybe +3, never above 5. 7 is nuts. And because it deals chip. Right? So, and it's a chunky chip. So that's pretty, it's pretty stupid. So, yeah, because the sneak 4 loop is forever. It can happen again and again and again. So it shouldn't be above 5, in my opinion. It should be like 3. +3 and so, and less. Okay, so that's another nerf. You guys will not notice this. Sleigh Ride needs to be negative. QCF3 needs to be negative. It should never be 0. It's a it grabs on counter hit. Sure, it's launcher open. It covers so much range, it hits grounded again. Hey, finally. Oh, I'm gonna give this man a shout out right here. I take the pushback and push away at the wall. Considerable book. My guy. I'm gonna give this guy a shout out. Somebody give him a shout out. Who's my mod here? You know what? I'll do it. This man right here, he went to our tryhards. He is a commentator for fighting games. He has an amazing stick. He has an amazing family. Give him a follow. Considerable book. Thank you so much, my guy. I really, really appreciate you being here. Thank you for the follow. And he is an exceptional Mortal Kombat 1 commentator. That's how I even approached him. I told him I watch your commentary. So there we go. Okay. Hey, much love to you too, man. Okay. Peace. So let's talk about the nerfs. QCF4, the push, and push away at the wall. There we go. Back 4-3 QCF4 nerfs. Sleigh Ride, QCF3. No combo for 1-3-2 normal hit. No combo for 1-3-2 normal hit. For obvious freaking reasons. DF1-4, no counter hit combo. Guaranteed hit, maybe. Back 4-2-1 should not guarantee back 4-3. Bring it back to +12. Back 4-3 is insane, dude. Plus 14 on a plus high is stupid. So we won't keep that. Back 4-2-1, it's already plus. I don't know, dude. It's crazy. 4-4 being plus on hit on block is okay, sure. I'll leave that. Full crouch DF1 for, I think that's fine now. I think it's pretty okay now. Back then it was really dumb. But yeah, there's just so many nerfable stuff with Dragunov. I do think that a forward one needs a buff. That's one of my favorite moves personally, is the eye gouge. I think it should have a little bit more damage. Just a tad bit more damage in a game like this. Yeah. And I think running 2 should have a little buff. Maybe a little bit of track buff. But again, never mind. You know what? Forget it. I don't want it to get buffed anymore. Yeah, there. That's it. That's Dragunov. That's all that. And lose the combo. Jules will say the same thing. Just lose the combo. I'm good. Lose the dang combo of back 4-3. And we're okay. That's a good enough gamble, I'd say. Good trade. Lose the combo. And you Dragunovs can stop just pressing buttons. The heat dash 4-4-4 combo should go. No, that's okay. Do you know it deals very little damage? It deals very small damage. It should stay. The quadruple 4-4s are okay, man. Yeah. It's okay. It's fine. It deals very small damage. His new cancels, which make him cool, also make him ridiculous. You see, that's the thing about me. I'll be honest with you guys. I respect the Dragunov more if they actually do the 2-1 loops, because I take pride in that. It's what deals the most damage in any combo. The 2-1 loops deal the most damage. I personally am gonna take pride in that because I've completely trained for that combo. Yeah, having to do the F3s in the combos are almost useless unless you want to do tornado, or unless it's a chase. Like say you picked up a while standing 4, jab to a forward 3. That's the only thing you need. But that's very, very situational. You don't need that. As long as you hit a 4-4 now, it's almost free damage. So yeah, there's that. Oh, last, how can I forget? I nearly smacked my glass. Down 3-2-1 plus 2 needs to be nerfed. Down 3-2-1 plus 2 needs to be nerfed. It's nuts, dude. In my opinion, I think that it should lose maybe at least 2 points of damage. Now he's basically got one combo. There we go. I agree with that, Bolt, because I'm a Dragunov player myself. That was one of my problems. I like that problem, actually. I liked him having that problem because at least he becomes flawed. Now he doesn't. Is there a character that's bad for drag like how Steve is to Paul or Brian is to Reina? Not right now. Dragunov's worst matchup supposedly, one of his bad matchups, maybe anti-meta, is Lee Chaolan. And even Lee will die to a good Dragunov. Lee Chaolan will more likely than not give Dragunov a run for his money. But still not a bad match. So he has no bad matchups now. I think he doesn't have any. It's just really a matter of being comfortable. Okay, last but not least, I think we're good with that. Dragunov, EWC 2025. So why is this a topic? I feel that we're looking forward to the next EWC 2025. Granted, how good this one really turned out. Now I think the combo damage is okay now, but the wall combo needs to go. 4-6, 4-6 to drag. Want to have a damage nerf on his X-rays? No, it's fine. Dragunov only has one X-ray. What are you talking about X-rays? It's just one X-ray. And this is from someone who finds him broken. He only has one X-ray. I don't think he needs a nerf on the X-ray. He can keep it. Even the damage, he can keep it. It's still one of 3 choices. It's still 33.33% that you'll get it. So I think that's fine. EWC 2025, yeah, we're going to talk about that simply because I feel that we're going to see a different setting. Because this was definitely an upgrade from Gamers 8. What do we expect? Hopefully different games. And I hope the team battles come back for EWC. I hope country-based representation will also be back. I hope that we go back to that league so that there will be more chances of players to represent their region. because right now they're forced to also team kill. I hope there's probably a different league for EWC in that sense, because they're forced to. Korea versus Korea, Japan, Pakistan, Pakistan. And unfortunately, as we didn't see FPH versus PH, but I kind of want that back. It's nice to have, even if you have to qualify as a team, or if there's something that they can do to make that happen. But I feel that I'd like that to come back with the mechanic that they have now too. Whatever they did now for Esports World Cup, it's already great. But I hope that in time, maybe we can see that again. You know, the region per region, country versus country representation would be really sick, right? Because now, because if that happens again, we can see flags. We can see more flags, and that'll be really awesome. And it gives a lot of players a lot of shining moments, right? I hope niche characters show up in EWC. There we go. Same thing. Yeah, that's another point. I feel that it's good to have characters that we don't see a lot to show up in EWC. We didn't see a lot of Azucenas, not a lot of Leos as well. So hopefully that does happen. Hardly any Ravens and Steves, to be honest. And here I go again. But it's true, though. Are you going to play with viewers soon? Yeah, but when I start playing again. But I'll also take this time to make an announcement. Again, if you guys missed it, since there's a lot of you here, since there's a bunch of you guys here, before we close the stream, and we're gonna raid somebody, please do stick around, right? Thank you guys so much. I'm super happy that you guys were here for the entirety of the stream. A quick announcement, and some of you already know this actually. I intend to go on a secondary ranked grind. What do I mean by that? Yes, we have another account to grind now, guys. So it means I'm gonna be playing Steve Fox from scratch again. So this is going to be under my personal account. We're going to have a lot of road to GODs, but this time I'm not going to be sharing the account with Jules. This is going to be an all me account, which means also for good purposes, I can use characters that my brother is using under my account. So more knowledge, right? More knowledge, more grinds, more content for everybody. It'll be fun. So please stick around for that. Obviously, road to second Steve God is our first goal. All right, so I'm super excited. That's gonna start tomorrow, by the way. Play Brian from scratch. You can kiss it, says yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna check somebody who I can raid. Thank you for tuning into the stream. What an amazing I'd say stream that we had here today. And more Pica podcasts, right? More PicaPads. I hope you guys agree with me on that. It'll be very, very cool for us to continue stuff like this. And I'm open to more topics. The next topic will be coaching, yay or nay. Oh, here we go. Already starting things up. Good. Remove Drag's hatchet. Stop it. I hope I don't encounter you in TV. Pica. What is Pica hide? What is that? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for reading that wrong, Bolt. Brian sounds like Brian. Stop it. See you offline soon. Absolutely. Arc of Memory. Awesome PicaPad coach. Hey, thank you, Arc of Memory. Don't hunt me in TG. I will. Oh, by the way, just to clarify, I am not gonna stop grinding the other account. We're still gonna use that because that's our main. But we also have our own separate grind account, which is just for me. Day 1 TGU. Screw that. Thanks, Zeus. I finally caught you live. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Pad pa boss channel sa Steam. Well, PicaPad really successful, guys. I'm really happy that our third episode really turned out well. I'm gonna raid somebody. You guys want to raid I'm Your Father? I think we could, right? Oh no. Somebody who can use us. Let's expand our reach. Let's go to. Give me somebody. Give me somebody who we can. Day 1 taunt FF2. Yeah, I hope so too. Who do we have to who do we read? Pecos? No. Let's go not for nothing, but let's go for an English stream. Let's go for an English stream. Let's go to I don't know if Rip is gonna play Tekken. Let's go to Book. I'll send you guys to Book. Let's go to Book, guys. He just played. Let's go to Book. We're good, right? We can go to Book. Let's go to Book. But no, no, no. I hope we can go to more, dude. I really wish I could go to more people. Book what? All right, let's go to Book. Let's go to Book. He's a buddy. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go to Book. By the way, you guys also show Book some love. Give him some love. He performed amazingly through the entire run of Esports World Cup and the similar, right? So I'll catch you guys on stream again soon, hopefully in ranked, so that we guys can talk about more stuff. I really appreciate that. Pica raid indeed. Thank you guys. Peace out. Really happy on how our stream turned out. Catch you guys on the grind. All right. See you tomorrow. Steve God 2 starts tomorrow. Peace. Mwah. 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 Thank you guys.